AFC and the NFC in the 2019 NFL Pro Bowl game. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, it's the Pro Bowl. You never really know what to expect, so I guess I'll ask you, what do you expect?
Well, in recent years, it has turned into an absolute offensive explosion, hasn't it? Games in the 50s are not out of line. What you're hoping is that some of these great defenders have a chance to adjust and react and maybe narrow that down a little bit. But I will say, this game is tilted heavily towards the offense's advantage.
This is taken at his 4. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
Ready? 5-9. Pick me up. Here we go. Switch. Come on.
A good pickup of 6 there on first down.
Lady. Check, pick the 5, Mike.
Now Breeze on the bootleg. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The former number 1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. The sack there by J.J. Watt.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the AFC will take over 1st and 10. Mahomes in the AFC now with a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Here's a carry for James Conner of the Steelers. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
And a nice carry there of 15 yards. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 11 more on that one, and another first down. For Patrick Mahomes, what a season he had. First as a full-time starter, and he goes over 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, and rewarded with his first Pro Bowl.
And think about if you're in Kansas City, the organization.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And now nothing but green ahead of him. And he's going to bring this one back for an NFC touchdown. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
PAT up and good by Rosas. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The AFC offensive unit getting set to take over. Well, we can continue to talk Pro Bowl as we go along, but let's talk a little Super Bowl. Super Bowl 53, 1 week from today over in Atlanta, New England taking on the Rams. Time for your Super Bowl prediction, CD. What do you think?
Well, everyone thinks defense when they think the New England Patriots. But in the time that they've had their head coach and their quarterback, Tom Brady, guess what? They're the number 1 offensive team.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Aaron Donald with a sack. defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's a right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground. On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
So they decline it as that will bring up fourth.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you've got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties, and they wisely did not take that one and made it fourth down.
Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the NFC will take over 1st and 10. Breeze and the NFC come up now with a 1st and 10 at their own 43. Now a play fake. Breeze. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. You look back a few years ago, Charles, when the Pro Bowl did that 3-year experimentation. I know you're a traditionalist. You like AFC versus NFC.
Yes, I do.
But for the games 2014, 15, and 16, they tried something a little different. They held essentially a fantasy draft for players. Year 1, it was Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders as captains. Year 2, Michael Irvin and Chris Carter. And then in year 3, Michael Irvin again matching up against Jerry Rice.
And one common denominator, every single one of those guys with a gold jacket, all of them in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So they didn't ask you and I to be the captains and make the picks. And by the way, the playmaker, Michael Irvin, went 2-0. And you know I heard all about that.
Now the leading rusher in the league, Ezekiel Elliott of the Cowboys, his 2nd Pro Bowl. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Well, we've talked about this game being hosted here in Orlando, and you and I are quite familiar with this place, especially you. You live, what, 20, 25 minutes from here?
Yeah, not bad at all, right? An easy trip to come right to the studios here in Orlando. You, of course, have to give a little bit more effort, a quick flight, then you're here, but you've learned this city quite well. And how about it, the Madden Studios right here in Orlando? That's where Coach and the guys hang out as well.
And the 6th pick in 2011, Julio Jones, always good for some yards after the catch.
It's one of the best.
And he will score. Touchdown, NFC. From 8 yards out. And the NFC adds on to their lead. Well, we saw that tandem hook up quite a few times during the regular season, didn't we?
We certainly did, and it continues now in the Pro Bowl. You have to know that even if they didn't consciously plan it, you do try and find guys you're familiar with in a game like this.
So the drive there took 6 plays, and it's finished off by an NFC touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The AFC offense making their way back out. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the pass.
Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
They fake the give. Here's Breeze. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. J.J. Watt picks up his second sack of the afternoon. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Well, Brandon, there's no question who they're going to look to on 3rd and long, but you can bet this defense knows that as well, so they've got him blanketed downfield. And this ball winds up being intercepted.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Check. Watch 54.
On first down, Mahomes. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. The defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
It's such an under pressure, and they got to him again. That sack by Khalil Mack.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Garden. It's the AFC in possession of the football to start quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. And he cannot get rid of it. The NFC getting in there for the sack. Khalil Mack able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it, and he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Breeze turns for the NFC first.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
There is no doubt that Geno Atkins is really strong and stout at the point of attack, but I love his suddenness, the ability to make plays, to be in one spot, and then he's gone. And into the offensive backfield, he's a heck of a player.
And there, a big TFL, tackle for loss.
Hard to believe that his father, Gene Atkins, was an NFL defensive back. He's bred this big defensive tackle.
From the gun, it's Breeze. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he will score. Touchdown, NFC. Michael Thomas. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the NFC able to widen their advantage. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
This will be taken in at the 1. Now a hit and a loose football. And it's scooped up by the NFC. And he will take this back. A fumble return for an NFC touchdown. So they get the one-score kickoff, get a fumble, take it right back to the house. 2 quick touchdowns within a matter of about 10 seconds on the game clock.
It's like a big 1-2 punch that may lead to a knockout.
Rosas good with the extra point. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Patrick Mahomes in the AFC ready to go on offense. He struggled. His team has struggled. You talked to me a lot about looking to your leaders. Maybe it's time for him to put his mark on this game.
Agreed. And how that has to happen is something. Somehow he's got to flush out everything that's happened so far and almost start over and get back to that confident level and know that he can play the game, because so far this has been a real struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the interceptions, trying to turn it around.
Attack!
Mahomes to throw on second down. And he finds his Chiefs teammate, Travis Kelce. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive there. He hits the reliable target. No gain at all on the play there, and that brings up 4th.
This is where his eyes told him everything he needed to know. As a linebacker, when you're sitting at the second level and you can see everything in front of you, that play just developed right in front of him, and he got there in a hurry and made a really nice play.
Here we go, 4th down, Mahomes. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before, and right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offensive coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field. So play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more. But a lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep throwing it.
Now Breeze. And he will find his Saints teammate Michael Thomas complete. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A very solid gain of 27.
Ready? 5-9. 57. Yo.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. And he will score. Touchdown, NFC. Drew Brees does it again. 3 first-half touchdown passes for him now. And the NFC just continuing to pour it on.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so, because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
This one fielded. Now a hit and a loose football. And it's scooped up by the NFC. And he will take this back. A fumble return for an NFC touchdown. So they get the one-score kickoff, get a fumble, take it right back to the house. 2 quick touchdowns within a matter of about 10 seconds on the game clock.
It's like a big 1-2 punch that may lead to a knockout.
PAT up and good by Rosas. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown.
Let's go, baby.
Here now, a look at Melvin Gordon. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. On second down, they'll run with Gordon. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll lead here to a third down.
I'm getting the sense that Fletcher Cox is making offensive linemen want to take the week off when they have to play against him.
It's a regular routine for him, isn't it?
It really is. That play there, that's him all day long. Good luck trying to block him and keep him from disrupting your offense.
The all-pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know, but all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. Much more like lead.
And it's knocked away and incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And now, boy, the ball's going to go over on downs here inside the 10-yard line. Now, this is a nice little gift-wrap situation as they take over first and goal. Throwing now is Breeze. That is caught at the 7-yard line. He'll get only 2 there, and it's second and goal. Breeze going to throw. And that's going to be caught. Touchdown NFC. 4 touchdown passes now for Drew Brees. And the NFC stretching that lead out even a bit further. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it's a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Back out is the AFC offense. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. It'll be a gain of 16 and give them a first down as well. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Here's Mahomes to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. Charles, this the 2019 Pro Bowl. The AFC's won both games that have been played here in Orlando since they moved it here. Both have been competitive, 20-13 2 seasons ago, and last year in 2018 it was 24-23 the final.
Yeah, and 2 years ago, Travis Kelce, Lorenzo Alexander were the game MVPs, offense and defense respectively. And then last year, Delaney Walker of the Titans, their tight end, he won it on offense, and Von Miller of the Broncos won it on defense.
And it's complete to Kelce. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Mahomes to his KC teammate Kelce for the AFC first. Well, he was so good throwing the football on third down during the regular season. Why wouldn't it carry over here to the Pro Bowl?
Sometimes that's just who you are.
Well, the NFC pressure a little too much as they get home for the sack. Khalil Mack giving him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. So we've reached half. And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
Here we go.
Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. Any surprise in your mind he's out there to start the second half after 4 first-half interceptions?
I used to be surprised by a lot of things, partner, but in this case I'm not, because you know they want him to be their guy. And the only way to truly establish that is to give him a chance to work through some of the issues he had in the first half.
Mahomes going to pull it out and keep it himself. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Kyle Fuller. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them. And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 10 more there and another first down. And a nice little broken tackle run there by Todd Gurley, the 10th pick in the 2015 draft.
And that's what you get with him, that full package of speed, power, able to catch the ball in the backfield. Many people doubted him coming out because of the knee injury in college. They're seeing the full Todd Gurley now, and it hurts. Brandon, at some point, these defenders absolutely have to say, we've just got to make a stand. We've had enough of this.
Giving up a lot of points in this game, but looked better on that play. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 5 yards that time on the completion, and now it's 3rd and goal.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
The numbers for the NFC on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and goal. Breeze now to throw. That's caught at the 2. And he will score. Touchdown, NFC. Drew Brees turning back the clock. 5 touchdown passes for him on the afternoon. And the NFC able to use the short field as they cash in for 6. Rosas good with the extra point. That time a 6-play drive. And the gadget play gets him into the end zone. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The AFC offensive unit getting set to take over. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10. Mahomes in the AFC now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42.
Would have would be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball.
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did. Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
One of the selling points of the end route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot.
And he will score. Touchdown AFC. A 22-yard touchdown grab. And the AFC able to get a little bit more respectable. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. And around the goal line, especially on two-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back.
Y'all already know what time it is, huh? Playing skills, you did. Playing skills. Ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole in the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, hole in the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole in the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, hole in the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, I get the money but I never switch. They saying you switch 'cause you won't get.
Hello, everyone. It's the coach. Welcome to EA Sports Coverage.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Straight ahead, bragging rights on the line in the 46th meeting of the AFC and the NFC in the 2019 NFL Pro Bowl game. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The AFC heading out on offense, and leading him is number 15 from the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, in his first ever Pro Bowl.
Get your tux, get your best suit. Let's head to the red carpet. NFL Honors is coming up, and he will be the heavy favorite to be the NFL MVP. And let's face it, we'll see him here at the Pro Bowl many times to come in future years.
They'll run it here with the Chargers' Melvin Gordon. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him, though. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. I'm no offensive mastermind, but of all the guys on the field to block, you might want to stop him.
Look, I've got a very simple rule. An unblocked defender is usually your best defender, and he ended up making the play there.
Aaron Donald, Defensive Player of the Year for the Rams, there on the stop.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first two plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Malcolm Jenkins. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. After the interception, here's Wilson. Forced out to his left. Floating one, incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Well, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The number 1 pick, Myles Garrett, coming in to drop him.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass, followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on him. Under pressure, they got him again. J.J. Watt providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
The AFC offense making their way back out. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
And that's how you want to start a sequence defensively. That's what we used to call, partner, hello, glad to meet you. Tagged him for a loss.
He was brought down by the Bears safety, Eddie Jackson.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that try to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller, and he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throw left side on target to Thielen. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And complete to Zach Ertz. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a 1st down. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. Pretty good location there on that throw.
It really was, wasn't it? That was likely one where the receiver was either going to catch it or no one. Really good decision. And, boy, what a catch and move right there.
In a tough spot to get it over the middle.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of a story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what did you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. Mahomes in the AFC now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. And that one, my goodness, that was almost too easy.
Yeah, you're not going to have too many attempts shorter than that one, and I don't think this was blocked. That's about as bad a miss as you can have.
DeMarcus Lawrence of the Cowboys there on the tackle.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? leverage, athleticism. They created some nice space for him.
The Panthers' Luke Kuechly there on the tackle. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't.
And here's another interception, the third of this first quarter. Eddie Jackson picks it.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Xavier Howard with a good coverage that time as he was there and knocked it away.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely, frees up your guys elsewhere.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Only a yard there on the keeper, but that's all he needed. First down.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
So we've reached the end of a fairly even first quarter of play. 0-0 our score. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Eluding the pressure right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The 305-pound defensive end, Jarrell Casey, gets the sack.
Now, how about that play right there? Partner, you remember I told you about the home run hitter theory that someone told me years ago?
What's that?
Meaning a guy who hits home runs in the major leagues, go back and trace what he did all the way growing up, probably hit home runs at every level. That's just who he is. Well, this guy sacked people all during the regular season. Why wouldn't he do the same thing here at the Pro Bowl?
First catch so far for Julio. He's got a first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong... arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one. On that play, it was the defensive front that won the battle. They out-leveraged the offensive line, got into the backfield, and held them to no gain.
On second down, here's Wilson. And this is caught at the 8. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Dancing, and put it on the board. It's 6, a touchdown. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the NFC is in for 6. He doesn't need a lot of space for an electric run. He showed that there. Heck, they told us this week they were hoping he would break a big one. He just did.
And what did his offensive... I mean, remember we talked with the offensive line? And one of the guys, one of the stalwarts said, I don't even have to make a great block for him. If I just breathe bad breath on the guy in front of me, often that opens up enough space for him to go.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback. Back out is the AFC offense. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily that you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Throwing is Mahomes on third. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Khalil Mack gets in there to drop him for a loss of 13 yards, and it's also fourth down now. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
And now let's discuss Julio Jones. Second quarter here, he has only one catch, but they have the lead. You got to think there's going to be more. And Gurley here fumbled it. Gurley fumbles the football. It's loose. And that's picked up by the AFC. And he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me, because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet there are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness. Puts it all together. It makes plays like one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but boy, he knows how to pursue straight ahead and make plays in the run game.
Now Mahomes throwing on second down. And it'll be intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. Trying to get it to Landry there. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
Looking to go back to Thomas again. That'll bring up second down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what'll be an important third down. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Being chased out left. Looking deep for his tight end. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A big gain of 38 there on third down.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. From the gun, it's Wilson.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their body.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. J.J. Watt picks up his second sack of the afternoon. Now the NFC going to call the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. On second down, Wilson buying time, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Jamal Adams on the safety blitz, too fast to handle.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And Old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. Now the Pro Bowl kicker, Aldrick Rosas. Last year, he hit one from 57. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. So we've reached halftime. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The NFC offense heads out to begin this 3rd quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breaker.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain of 32 that time.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Now Wilson. And Jones has it over the middle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does. It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Wilson, Ertz over the middle, and brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up first and goal.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter, because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. That's complete, right around the 8. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Only able to pick up 2, and that leads us to 3rd and goal.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, You enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that.
And he will carry this one in. Touchdown, NFC. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the NFC adds on to their lead. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The AFC offense now heading out for their first drive of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big.
And now here is another interception. Picked off around the 27. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Wilson. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third.
Well, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
And they get 14 yards there at a first down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Now it's Wilson, and he slings one that's incomplete. The Pro Bowl tight end Zach Ertz, the intended target. And it's second down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Wilson now. Going to throw again. Flush to his right. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down.
Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of him, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right.
And everything has been going their way for the most part. I saw that lane start to develop. Boom. He took advantage of it. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
I know we just saw a nice throw and catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
On first down, it's Gurley. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And finding the tight end Hooper. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now a handoff for Gurley. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. So the solid run on first, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that second down play.
No, it's all on your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to let the ball be snapped until it's inside 3 seconds left on the play clock. Unless, of course, you're playing a video game, you're trying to run it up on your friend.
Nice touch. Cold-blooded, too. Derwin James, the all-pro safety, is a rookie there to knock it away.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
Out to his left. And that is incomplete. Good coverage that time by Derwin James. And I am not sure, partner, there what the mindset was to go for it. I don't know.
And some teams just feel that possession is the key to everything. They just want to have the football in their hands. No matter how it goes to the other team, they just don't trust doing that. So they say, listen, go for it and try and finish it ourselves.
5 yards on the catch there brings up second down. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Mahomes finding Hopkins for the AFC first. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
23 yards on the play.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your number 1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. Now Mahomes. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, to say that this has not been his game is probably a big understatement. I mean, he is all over the place. Mechanics are off, not accurate, except if you're playing on defense because they picked off a good number of passes.
Yeah, all the INTs, but they're throwing it off his back foot. Pressure coming, just chucking it downfield. He can't do that right now.
No, you can't do that at all. And I think one of the hardest things for a guy having a day like this one is to find a way to just kind of get out of it, kind of get yourself back to neutral. Because what you try and do is make even more spectacular plays to make up for it, and it usually leads to more bad ones.
And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 18 yards there and a first down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball. All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. Then outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
Mahomes firing complete, and he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. Mahomes now 10 of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st and 10. Mahomes now to throw. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Connor. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. They'll wind up with 7 on the dump-off, but it'll set up 3rd down. The AFC thus far on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. That'll go as a loss of 5. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. Now it's Mahomes again. He's got a man. That's Keenan Allen. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a gain of 7, and that'll bring up 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They'll try and run for it. And he's not even going to come close to picking up the first. They stop him right at the line of scrimmage. He needed a yard. He didn't get anything. And as a result, possession switches hands. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's the NFC with the football as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame.
Right there in the middle, 55. Ain't no such thing as a loss. We take
Another carry now for Gurley. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. And he connects with Ertz. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
Check 55. Come on. Pick it up, guys. Pick it up.
This is complete to Michael Thomas. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. It doesn't matter whether you watch high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Check 55. Mike.
On the handoff, it's Gurley. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. So, Charles, a victory for the NFC. Final thoughts on this Pro Bowl?
We had some fun, didn't we?
Absolutely.
A lot of excitement, some big plays to watch, a lot of those great matchups that we don't get to see during the regular season because sometimes teams don't play against each other. And, oh, by the way, no one got hurt. There's the win for everyone. I think the fans enjoyed this one.